TitleMatchNetwork.com.
Missy Hyatt. Missy Hyatt got me into it. She came in and she came in and literally moved into the complex that I was living at. And she didn't know I was married. So she, at the time, she came in and she said, move me wherever the hell that guy's living. So literally she moved right across from me. I mean, I'm not kidding. I mean, like my door and her door. I mean, it was that close, you know. And then she met my wife, and then it was all cool, you know. Right. And we were all friends, and she's real cool, you know. She's got a wild side to her, but we all do, you know.
Right. Now, how did you get into the global territory, and how did you meet up with Joe Pedicino?
What happened with that was Missy sent me down to. There was no power plant back then. And Missy put me into calling Joe Pedicino and saying, look, let's do something with this guy. What can we do? You know, this and that. And let me back up. First of all, wrestling school, which was down in Griffin, Georgia. And there was like 2 people down there, you know. And that was it. It was Kevin Nash and myself and a couple other guys. That was it, man. You know. And back then, wrestling wasn't popular, you know. It wasn't anything, you know. And Missy told me the money that could be made in it, you know, if you made it big. And I was like, I'm going to do this, you know. So when she made the call to Joe, I said, look, I want that ring. I can't do that. That's just, it was just too much of a turmoil, and I can't afford $3,000 at the time, you know. And that's what they were charging. And I said, I can't do that, you know. She said, well, why don't you let me call Joe. She called Joe, and when she called Joe, we started off with North Georgia Wrestling with Joe. And from there, it went from there to Global. And from Global was WCW. Yeah. From there, from Joe's first North Georgia thing, I went to Global, and then Global fizzled out. And from there, thinking of the Handsome Stranger thing and all that, and that fizzled out. And then after that fizzled, I was like, what am I going to do now? You know, and literally the day they said, we can't have you no more, the exact same day, Magnum called, and he said, hey, this is Magnum TA. And I said, who? And he says, Magnum TA. And then it hit me. I go, I said, hey, man, what's going on, you know? But I didn't know about the business that much, you know, then. I didn't know about it, you know? And he said, listen, Dusty saw you on your so-and-so, and why don't you come down, try out for us, and this and that. So they signed me for $500 a week to go to wrestling school. And when they signed me to go to wrestling school, they 2 days into wrestling school, Barry Windham hurt his knee, so they put him on the road. And I showed him I could do it, you know, and was able to, you know, come through and be, you know, part of the show.
Right.
Well, and
go ahead.
No, I'm saying part of the show. So after being part of the show, they said, "Guy, we got to sign this guy," you know. So I was broke at $500 a week. I mean, live on the road, it's $100 a day minimum. You know, the best you can do. That's just minimum. I mean, to look like we got to look with eating and training and all that stuff. That's $100 a day, you know.
What were your initial impressions of WCW? And I guess Dusty was the booker at the time. What were your initial thoughts on him?
Well, Dusty hired me. He's the first one who hired me. So I went down. He called me down for a meeting, and we went back and forth with the global thing. And I said, look, man, I said, just, you know, I said, I don't want to go to this last global thing, you know, just hire me, you know. Let me in. He said, you're in, you know. So then we worked out the contracts and all that, you know.
TitleMatchNetwork.com